Excuse me.
Ready? All right, folks, we're gonna call to order this meeting on March 19th of the Parsonsville Planning Board, starting with a public hearing on a site review for 26 Reed Lane. Map R19 lot 044 with an application for an auto recreational vehicle and small engine repair shop. And at this point, I am going to respect the request of the vice chair to recuse himself.
See you in a while.
We'll be seeing you right up close.
Sit out front here so we can see you. On this side.
You're ready to be out.
No, there's no such a long debate.
Right.
You don't want to. You'll do well.
So the board will review questions in the application when we get into the actual application review process. Is there anyone here in the public that would like to speak about this application for 26 Reed Lane?
Is this a public hearing?
It's the public hearing. I know, isn't it weird?
Yeah.
Mr. Park, you're not here for that. Mrs. Moreau,
Where's it at again?
26 Reed Lane is in Maplewood, near Westfield Field Line in Parsonsfield. Over by Rockhaven Lake.
Oh, it's your shop.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're gonna shut it down.
They already did that.
Already did that.
Now,
So
open it up.
I think any board questions can be dealt with during the application review, correct? You all feel that?
Sure.
If you don't, please speak up. Where this is the public hearing, I mean.
Do we have any questions?
Well, I think any questions we have can be dealt with when we actually get to the review portion. Unless you would like to address them during the public hearing, but I don't think that's really the place for us to do it. Roger, would you like to say anything during the public hearing?
Nope.
So
Thanks for having me. That's about it.
we would need to make a motion to close the public hearing,
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
and I would need a second.
A second.
And all in favor? Thank you. Public hearing is closed. Roger, can you join us again for a few minutes?
Sure.
Just Paul and
This is your exercise.
Sean reminding you that you both are voting members of this application. Okay, so the next is correspondence, which Desiree has detailed out for us. There's an email. Have you all perused the email from Mrs. Wright? Back of the first page.
Yep.
Read them already.
Because there was a request to read this aloud, I will do that for Mrs. Wright. It is written, I, Marion Wright, do not have a problem with the applicant Roger Moreau at all. This is based only on the fact that the planning board and Parsonsfield CEO are about to go against Supreme Court and the town attorney. What did this cost in legal fees? What is the town willing to pay an attorney to keep this going? I do not want to appeal the decision that the planning board is going to make, and I cannot in good faith allow the planning board to ignore the regulations. The Supreme Court told the town they needed to follow the Parsonsfield land use and zoning ordinance. The approval of this permit will go directly against the land use and zoning ordinance. You once asked me what I wanted you to do about the CEO. I'm not sure who she's directing that comment. The CEO is appointed by the select board. You, the select board, are responsible for everything he says and does. By the law and Fourth Amendment, the town of Parsonsfield did nothing to the CEO for flying a drone over my house while sitting at the Masons Hall on Route 160 for harassment. The state police told you in how many ways this was against my rights. What punishment did he receive other than getting a full-time job, salary of $5,600? Please make the planning board and the appeals board aware of this situation, which the select board has forwarded this information for you all to review, and it's now entered in a public record.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Just for clarification, the citizen did request this to be read at the select board meeting, not the planning board.
Oh, thanks. I did it anyway, so we're good. I read that twice. Thank you, Paul. And I still read it anyway. I know that it is a very heartfelt matter for Mrs. Wright, even if it seems like she's just kind of spouting off. She feels deeply about it, so I do think it's worth being recognized. Did you all get a chance, it was very last minute, to see the email that I returned to Silver Therapeutics of why they're not on tonight's application?
I did see that, yeah. Decided not to come on.
The reason why in the correspondence that they're not on tonight's agenda is at the time that Desiree was doing the agenda within our timelines, it was still under the Zoning Board of Appeals. And we still have yet to vote to approve the proper application that we were advised by the town attorney to use. So that was what I was trying to explain to them. And I did apologize personally, not for you guys, that I do think that we've been delaying them, but that's not our goal on any level. Desiree asked me to draft a response, so I did. Then we have an email, a correspondence regarding an email sent to the town board from town select board from JP Espinoza. And the response back from select person.
Before you move ahead, sorry,
Yeah.
can we go back to Silver Therapeutics?
Yeah.
The most recent email that came in around after 3 o'clock today, I believe had them retracting their application.
No.
They vacated
That was-
their appeal
Oh, okay, that's what they vacated?
in regards to a new conditional use permit.
Okay, thank you.
Saw something to it.
That's what it's on.
So Silver Therapeutics, the gist of this, again, was that they retracted their appeal before the Board of Appeals, which negated us to be able to discuss it. And we have been cautioned by the former town attorney handling the cannabis portion of the ordinance that we needed a different application, which we brought up last week. We're going to take care of this week.
Thank you.
I don't know if we necessarily need to read JP's emails out loud, if they should be entered into public record. The next. Oh, somehow this is out of order, Desiree.
Sorry.
The next item of correspondence is the advertisement for the site walk for Reed Lane, which has been conducted, and I gave the minutes to Desiree so we can address those minutes at a later point. Then we have a notice from Mr. Godomsky surrendering and vacating his site plan approval that we granted to him and waiving any rights to proceed under that vacated site plan that he had previously submitted. And acknowledging that any future development on the subjected property will require approval and ordinance with all applicable ordinances and regulations. Anyone have any question about that? This is one of the reasons why the ZBA meeting was canceled. And then the next correspondence is Silver Therapeutics. Also withdrawing there. There's the zoning board of appeals contestment of our decision. Very nicely. So this email is from B. Hansford. Regarding development at the Keyser Falls Mill. And I believe everyone received a copy, or there is a copy addressed to everyone. This,
I only printed out the one address.
so what the They have partnered with the Maine Governor's Energy Office and the Maine Department of Economic and Community Development to set up and implement the Maine Community Energy Redevelopment Program, which is a state-led technical assistance program to help advocate local economic development projects located at former industrial sites. Their goal at the mill is to create good paying jobs and drive local economy and business and meet state climax and energy goals. And because of our involvement in town boards and, community involvement, each one of us have been invited to join this committee, as well as some folks from some other organizations. So you are welcome to let Desiree know if you would like to be part of that committee, and we'll have her respond back to them. And then I think, will they contact us directly at that point?
Yeah, what I'll do is whoever wants it, I'll forward you email with your name on it and you can reach out.
Reach out directly? Okay. So that's for everybody sitting here on the board.
And I'm pretty sure Paul Levy is Paul Ferris.
I agree.
So, and I don't think she had John's info at the time, so John, if you decide you want to be involved, just let me know. Let her know to send you one.
Okay. I intend to go forward with it. Like I said, I'd want to see that property exceed that whole corner.
Yeah.
So anything we can do to help that happen. Next correspondence is the select board email regarding Ben McCall. Is that part of this whole packet from Mr. McCall? I think this is all of our,
Yeah, I think it all.
Correspondence back and forth.
Together.
so the gist of that email, unless I'm incorrect, Mr. McCall is no longer the town attorney. Period. He was handling multiple items, but I think primarily the cannabis portion of this, and he is no longer. And I don't think we've found legal counsel to replace him at this point that I'm aware of. So in his absence, we were able to forward our initial questions that we had to the MMA. So you'll see the responses from the MMA in here regarding our application that we need to get before the board and approved. They can answer specific questions, but they don't review the application as a whole. But I think we all agreed it was a pretty comprehensive application. It does state, we all talked about, and one of the hot topics of this subject has been odor mitigation and its effect on the community. And it seems that though we can ask questions about their plans for that, it's more falls to the job of the select board to review more technical documents under their advice. And again, the burden for providing information for us to find or come to a conclusion on approval of an application is the burden of the applicant.
It says the requirements of the zoning ordinance. So who's responsible for the zoning ordinance?
Where are you, Jim, on that?
On the first page of that, Parsonsfield FWPB conditional use letter,
Yep. What part of the page are you on?
the last paragraph.
Yep.
However, it would be advantageous for the applicant to submit a detailed ventilation plan to meet the requirements of the zoning ordinance. So I thought that was us.
Me too, but I think it contradicts itself in another place where it says they don't think we could ask for it. Let me find that statement again. Right above it, in that paragraph above, it says, I am not sure if the planning board can require the applicant to submit a detailed air ventilation system plan. But down below it said it would be advantageous. So we can't require them to, but it would be beneficial to them for us to understand their plan. Is that how I would read it?
I read it like some lawyer went to lunch and somebody else picked it up.
I agree. Yeah, it seems like two different lawyers wrote it. But we also, if there is no information, and specifically, I guess this, when we're talking about conditional use, we're basically right now been focused on the cannabis ordinance. We could make it a condition to have proper ventilation of the facility, which we already know we can attach conditions to approvals for that. And I think they just reiterated what we already knew about the questions regarding licensing. But I think, whose question was that? Is that yours during the last meeting, Jim? Or which I think Jen Lewis from the select board also clarified the same statement that, you know, if the ownership changes or so on, that they need new regulations. They don't have sample conditional use permit letters, but they think ours is nice, which they made a note of. One of the things, and this isn't to throw mud back, is that in my conversation with, and my email with Attorney McCall, he made a statement that the planning board secretary should not be writing these letters of approval. But here the MMA says in this, their sentence, once the board has made this decision, the secretary should incorporate the findings and legal conclusions, indicating that it is fine for the secretary to be writing the letters like they always have for both boards, zoning the Board of Appeals and this board. So I think that was just a data mistake that we never were able to clarify.
Yep.
Does anybody want to review that any further? And then Attorney McCall's emails are at the end, which we had already reviewed once before. And then Desiree's reaching out about our questions, and then that's when we found out that he had removed himself as a town council, so. Rid of that. And the email, there's some emails from Michael Nelligan, who formally opposed the Moreau application. That will enter into as correspondence. Mr. Nelligan is no longer a resident or lives in that neighborhood. They can be reviewed further if we need to during the review of the application. So I think that wraps up correspondence, unless anyone here on the board has something to say about that. Okay, we'll move on to documentation. So at this point, we did not get any feedback on this. It was suggested, but not required, that we get feedback from the town council on our application, which I think is good for conditional use. I don't disagree with that. That way we can get everybody moving in the proper direction. Mr. McCall, or Attorney McCall, removed himself without providing his opinion on this. Desiree made some adjustments to the layout, as we had discussed, and some grammatical corrections that everyone provided last time. And MMA did not give us any reason to believe in their documentation that we shouldn't move forward with this application. So at this point, we should entertain voting if this application can be used going forward for conditional use.
Later on the agenda.
Do you have it in here twice?
So I have it as documentation on the cover letter, and then I have it as an agenda item after.
Okay, so anyway, we will talk about that later, but this is the application as updated by Desiree, if you guys want to breeze through it really quickly, and then we'll readdress it again.
The 3-5 workshop is not on the agenda, but it is available along with the 219 meeting.
So we'll move past the application, but just as you have time tonight, guys, until we get to the point where we actually are going to review it in depth, you can peruse it. Wilson application and a butter list. Is that from the application from last week? Yeah. So we will be, again, reviewing this later in our meeting. This is the application that we received. I believe we gave it to us last week. Everyone has it, so
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. regarding 46 Lynn Point Road. So we do have that application in your piles if you want to keep that available, which covers the documentation portion of Desiree's very large packet. And there is an abutters letter and list as well that goes with that application. Which moves us down to minutes. June 19 minutes are not available, and neither are November 6th or November 20th, or January 8th, or the 15th, February 5th. February 19th minutes, if everybody has them in their hands. One where we had a public hearing regarding sugar and spice.
Make a motion, we accept them as they are.
Okay. Second the motion?
Before we do the final vote, just remember because it's necessary for tonight that this is an indication where we moved up our 2 members in these minutes for our vote later that we need.
Okay.
And a vote all in favor of accepting the minutes. Okay, those are accepted, Desiree. Next set of available minutes is the Wednesday, March 5th. Workshop minutes, correct?
Yep. Accept them as they are.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Harvey, do you want to abstain or you want to vote?
Go ahead.
All moving forward. That clears up correspondence. It felt like an entire meeting. There was a lot of documentation
20 minutes worth.
and the review of minutes. So at this point, Mr. Moreau, we're going to say goodbye to you again. Musical chairs, who gets to share next?
That's all right.
All right, so on this one, we are looking at the site plan review for Roger Moreau at 26 Reed Lane, map R19, lot 044. Again, it's an auto recreational vehicle and small engine repair shop. I'll speak. And I believe the surveyor, Mr. Lalonde, is here as well to answer questions that we may have regarding from this. He was also attended the site walk. Because I know you had some questions, Jim. I think that did we get resolution to Jim's questions? Did we send those? I think those were sent out.
We sent them to the town attorney, but he never answered.
So we will.
The
The MMA did respond to that, did they not?
I had asked them more about the conditions.
But I saw an answer from them regarding the center of the right-of-way measurement. So let's look at your MMA email that was at the top of your packet. I think, Jim, your questions were answered in there. You flipped it. Maybe I'm hallucinating.
No, they, the video only answered the conditional use, so the ones I sent to her. I wanted to make sure we got an email back quickly on the application.
So maybe I reread the question and not the answer.
Might be able to comment on that, real quick, comment.
Why don't we go through it and then grab you so we don't lose? I appreciate that though. And
So,
does everyone have their packet regarding Reed Lane?
Has it changed since the last meeting we had?
Yes. I was just looking at mine. This is why you tell me not to move my stuff around. Trust me, I've looked at it 50 times this year. So this application was originally submitted on the 2nd of January, 2025. This is a new site plan review application for Roger Moreau, who's the property owner at 570 Maplewood Road. And his site in question is 26 Reed Lane,
Yeah.
which is tax map R19 lot 44. It's a village residential and a 1.25 acre lot. We've already deemed the application complete. I know that, Jimmy, you were concerned about some conditions that we talked about. We could add, if this is approved, those conditions can be added in. So I guess we should start with board questions after the site walk.
Okay.
I think that's a good place to start because you've made some changes since your a long initial beginning of this process to conform to the requests that you went through. So why don't I start with Jim?
My first one was whether or not the new garage had the proper setback from the lot lines,
So the
50 feet. And what I was looking at, it was more like 35 feet by this map.
at the site walk, I thought Jesse answered that in terms of where.
It's a driveway, so it didn't have to, but that doesn't make sense because you have to go from the lot line, not whatever a driveway is considered.
Okay.
I agreed with him when he was talking about, but the more I thought about it, it's not, it has to do with the lot line.
Okay.
That's the way I see it.
No, I'm reviewing it. I remember the comments, but I know that we missed some of the voting members who weren't all here. So Jesse, do you mind giving us your opinion on this lot line from the garage, the frontage? Jim had a good point, and Jesse and he discussed it at the site walk. And Paul, I know you weren't present. That's why I want to review it more in depth.
Thank you.
Because the lot does become, the right of way does become into a private driveway.
Sure.
So it's a matter of how you want to interpret it, whether you interpret the fact that this is the lot line or it's the fact that this is just a driveway here.
It's the lot line. And it's one of those things where I think the appeal board would just like walk this right through. You know what I mean? I don't think it's a problem. It's just.
It's the interpretation and making sure that we're on the right
Anybody
page.
wants to do something to that later on, then it would be, would become, what is it, not complete or,
Non-compliant?
yeah, not compliant, then we'll make it more non-compliant. Probably kick it out, so it's just future more than what's going on now. I think the appeals board would have no problem with it, because it's located way the heck back here, and it's not part of,
It's not part of anything, yeah, I mean. And I think, is your next lot back behind you Newfield?
Yeah.
Not that that doesn't make a difference, but
I mean,
in reference to how this property is located within that site.
if you do the sidewalk and you walk to the edge there, it's like, there's nobody's gonna be into. I just want to dot the i's and cross the t's.
Be the only one
This, okay, Jim, I think I got you. The Hammerhead?
Correct. It's a 100% new application that we voted as.
And I don't know what you mean there.
Hammerhead, this way. You see the hammerhead right there?
Where it comes into my lot.
So there's a measurement there, what is that, 83?
Not yet, because he had to cease business.
83 feet?
He's like 100 feet just to this corner.
You wanna point it out on his map, Mike?
It's over here.
Yeah, from this corner. Up to the center. And he has,
Just to the edge of the hammerhead would be 100 feet.
All right, I don't know what you're talking
No,
about.
that would actually be the front of his property.
Mr. Lalonde,
Where the public right of way would be.
can you bring the map up and explain?
Show all this, because I see the lot line going to the garage, and I see that's not 50 feet, so.
so the
What are you talking
front,
about?
the front setback is described as being 75 feet from the center of the right of way. So this is the right of way. The center of the right of way would be here, so you'd measure from here to the building. So the way I would take this is, no matter which way your building is situated or where the driveway is, the frontage is from towards the road, which would be counted as frontage. So this would be side and then,
So this is the center of the right of way?
nope, this is the only right of way.
So if this is the only,
This is the driveway, just like, any house that sits back in here, they're gonna have a driveway coming
Right,
into the
right.
house, but this is where the front
so this,
measured from.
so this is going, where's the center, where am I measuring from there?
From the nearest corner of the building
To where?
to the center of the right of way. So it says from the center of the right of way.
I don't think so.
Have to be
I don't think so.
75
I think
feet.
you go to the lot line. Lot line's right there.
That would be a side. If this is the front, sideline, this is the rear line.
Saying this is the front?
Yeah, towards the road. So if you have this building in here somewhere, wherever the building is towards the road is your
Where are the
front.
garage doors on this?
Here.
The front.
But he could put the garage doors in the back.
Well, if he did, then I'd agree with him. But if you put the garage doors in front, it's,
But there's nothing in the ordinance that says where your garage doors are count.
That's the side the existing driveway has always been on.
Yeah, this driveway's always been here.
all right, I would just assume that the front is where the garage doors are.
Just like this guy, he could have his driveway come in and come around to the back side of the house. That doesn't change where the road is in the building. So just because there's a driveway in here, that shouldn't change the description of how you measure your front. The front setback says center of road to the building has to be 75. And they're basically thinking if this road's a 50-foot, halfway would be 25. So you'd be.
So where's the closest point to this in the road, to the road that's coming through?
Right here.
How about this? This is not part of the road? Is that what you're telling me?
No,
What is
that's
that?
not part of the commercial road or anything. This is just a driveway.
It's just a driveway.
Yeah. So it's a driveway to access the building.
50 feet over there,
But the frontage is always gonna be towards the road.
not 75.
What's that?
The minimum setback's 50 feet.
Right, right,
In
50.
center? I
Yeah,
think it's 75.
it's 50.
This, I was trying to look it up.
75 or something else.
75 is in
I
park.
thought it said 75 from the center of the right of way.
Rural. This is in village rural.
Oh, okay.
Village Road is 50.
This is 50.
50, yeah.
I don't want to move past this question until you're satisfied.
I'll never be satisfied with this. This makes no sense to me.
Well, if this guy's driveway comes in here, you're gonna say that's the frontage. So you gotta measure from the front to the road, 75 or 50, whatever it is.
I would measure from the front here to the road,
Yeah,
right? 'Cause that's
even if
the road.
even if his driveway came around to the side here.
Yeah, I wouldn't care which way his
Oh,
driveway came.
this driveway's coming on to the side over here, and this is the frontage.
What about people with attached garages to their house?
Say if this was a cul-de-sac here,
Yep.
and you have a building here, the frontage is gonna be towards the road. Okay, So, this is just a
Right.
turnaround here,
Right.
but you got a road here, you got a house here. So the front can't be this way. How are you gonna measure distance from the front of the house to the road? It's the only way I can figure that it's reasonable to say where's the frontage of this building, side and rear, and this is another side. So the frontage is this way towards the road. If he put his doors here, that would be better for you to say that this is the front now because the doors are here versus the doors on that side. You know what I mean?
Well, if he put the doors here, I would wonder why he wouldn't put them in the front is what I'm wondering.
You're just seeing the driveway and saying this is the front. It's just like people on the lake call the lake the front.
Well, actually, what I'm looking at is a lot line and thinking the lot
Yeah, that's a side lot line.
feet from the lot, it should be 50 feet from the lot line. That's what I'm thinking.
30 feet. It says from the center of the right of way. This isn't a right of way. Center of the driveway. Oh, we don't have to do the center. I look at my map again.
And down.
Why would this be,
Do
he's all the way down? This is,
you two have an opinion on this point he's making?
Shouldn't it be from the lot line anyhow, not from the,
No, where it's a VR environment and it's set for 50 setback, front setback, it would appear that he has plenty there.
Correct. And it's also driveway space out front, not right away. Driveway turns, the right of way turns into the driveway.
otherwise it should be.
Right. That,
Still 75 feet over 70.
yep.
Down here.
He's saying this is the front.
yes,
50 feet from this.
So the commercial road comes into the garage, but crosses into a gravel driveway.
So this, the town road turns onto a road.
Oh, okay. All customers and such will be here.
From here over is his driveway.
I know. If
Gotcha.
it says, go down there and park it in the front, they're gonna park it right here.
That's what I thought I saw.
I don't, that's fine, it's a moot point. I think the appeals board is gonna let it go.
But it's valid. If you feel it's valid, it's not moot. It's valid.
Application.
I see where he's coming.
I look at
That's the front 50.
Is there any, I guess I should make that official.
no roadway into it.
Still warm.
Maybe this should be frontage to
This is,
the
yeah,
commercial area.
yeah,
Okay, I get it. This is the front.
the front way here.
Well, this is at the end of the,
From the center line.
You're way over there.
So you'd have to, well, even if you call this the right of way,
therefore
it's
this.
gonna be 50 from here.
Driveway.
25.
If you would do that, this would be 60.
Yeah.
Jesse, doesn't it go from the lot line?
Setbacks go from that lot line. That, I can see where he's coming from, I can see where you're coming from, but It's 50 feet.
20.
page 20 of the ordinance.
Yeah.
If you look at that, okay, 50 feet from the center line of the right of way, where it needs to be. That's what it says.
Okay.
And the only right of way is the road.
All my experience in right-of-ways, you can build right up to the edge of it. There isn't a setback on a right-of-way. It's not a public way. Okay, it's a right-of-way for land abutters, businesses of that nature. You can't block a right-of-way from anyone using it, any of the abutters. Really, does that setback even matter? That setback is there for a public way in this. Okay. So his sideline is supposed to be 25 feet. It's the only one that's close on this map, and he's moving it.
That's the.
I guess I just don't see where you think a driveway, you should meet setbacks on a driveway.
I thought that this other part was what the blue dotted
That's
line
not,
was part of the roadway.
it's not. The hammerhead is the end of the roadway. That hammerhead's there for emergency vehicles to turn around in. In parking areas.
All right, then I've got another question for you.
Okay.
I know this is a commercial building and this was a commercial road that went up to there. How come the commercial road doesn't go to the commercial building?
It's all that was specified was to have that hammerhead where it is, all along in every single week we've been there.
So
Who specified it?
you have to have 100 feet frontage on the road.
Right.
You do actually do have an ordinance for back lot. So I made sure this road has to extend past the property line. So each one, the house lot has 100 feet and this one has 100 feet. So you don't have to extend it way down here to get your 100 feet. So if you think of this as a cul-de-sac right here, you can come around and turn and then you have driveways going off to your buildings and you have your 100 feet along the road. So you have, if I extend it out to where I've got it, you have the 100 feet for each of these lots.
Right. Well, one of my other questions was, where's the commercial building on that picture?
It's gonna be the garage here, right?
But why isn't there a commercial road going to the commercial building?
Yeah.
Right, but it doesn't go to the
Doesn't
building.
say the the road has to go right to the building
It doesn't say that.
in the ordinance. It just says that this road has to be, it doesn't even
That's
say
the
that,
parking
commercial.
area. It's going into that parking area, whereas customers are gonna park. Nobody's gonna be pulling down and blocking his garage. That's why that parking area is there with, what was it, 10 spaces?
Yeah, 5
I
here.
saw it, he's got plenty of room, yeah, there's no question
So
about
that's what
that.
he had to have, was the 10 spaces. That way it gave emergency vehicles room to turn around if the parking lot was full.
All right, I don't understand how you can have a commercial building without having a commercial road going to the commercial
That's what
building.
this is all about. That's that's gonna be his commercial road, right to that point.
And he needs 100 feet of frontage on the road. Which we have.
But any commercial road would stop at a driveway or parking lot. Any type of business, for the most part, unless you're a Main Street business that's literally on the sidewalk.
It's just like if you have an industrial road 60 feet wide and you have all the commercial buildings, they have driveways going up to the building. They
Right.
don't put the building right at the edge of the road so that it abuts the road. You're always gonna have a driveway around that building.
Okay,
Right, you go into a industrial, you turn into a driveway to a commercial place. That driveway doesn't have to be 60 feet.
yeah, yep,
That's, I think, what he's trying to get.
yep, I see that. Okay. I'm good with everything.
No, I think questions are good. I cover our butts.
I'm confused.
I just, yeah,
No, this whole thing is,
And then I do have to change where this property line is and the rear of the building here to make sure that's 25 or more.
all that,
No, instead of moving the line.
not again.
What do you mean you need to change?
The setback on the rear has to be 25, 150, center of the roadway.
25 side.
From the lot.
10 sides are
10
10
side.
feet and rear is 25, and I have like 23 on the upper corner.
23.8 and then 18 below.
So I'm moving that line, which I've already done.
Foot.
So it needs that 25-foot setback.
oh, because that becomes the rear instead of the side.
Right,
Interesting, okay.
just want to meet that setback, which he almost had it, he missed it by a foot. Foot and a few inches,
See, that's what confused me then.
yeah.
That's where it's confused right there, because everybody was thinking that, well, everybody is thinking that he's meeting his front line setback to the right of way.
Right,
There is no front line setback to the right of way. You can build to the edge of a right of way. It's not a public way.
Don't lie. You know, that's what it is.
oh, yeah.
You've got some sort of.
Okay, good.
And that's the way that this whole thing has been since the beginning,
Yeah,
or since Roger had to get the 50-foot deeded right away, is that the way the road is, that's where the frontage comes in.
every time I come in front of the board, it's a moving target, basically. Move your garage, build a new garage, then I build a garage where they tell me to and give me a permit for it, and like you were just saying, it's not right.
The way I look at it, yeah, I can see.
You know, and I was told to put it there.
But there are some items that you have already said that you were gonna have to do based on condition upon approval with properties at the beginning of the beginning,
Yes, I gotta have the driveway deeded,
okay? Which needs to be a condition of approval.
and I need, like, obviously, because of the time of year, I'd like to ask for till the 1st of July to have the driveway finished. Just so I know frost is out of the ground and it gives me ample time to do excavation that's necessary.
Too bad you had to take down all the green
For this
space.
back lot too, right?
That's just gonna be a contractual lease. The back lot's gonna be leased,
Okay,
leasing myself, obviously, but nevertheless,
Yeah.
that's what jumps me over the other hump that I need to do, I just
yeah.
have to do that.
Don't charge yourself too much.
I'll try not to. I'm not a good landlord, ask my daughter.
You put that on condition?
That'll be a part of the condition. That'll have to be done, yeah.
Like I said, those are the only two that I can see.
And then the other one was we're gonna have somebody come and check and make sure that.
Right, well, I mean, that's basically when it's finished, yeah, I'll have it
Finished.
checked by Jesse and/or the road commissioner.
The road-
Talking about your driveway construction without
Yeah, just to make sure it's done up to par. Yeah,
very wide driveway.
yes, yes. It is. I can land a plane.
Other questions, gentlemen?
I have none.
Jim, do you have another, because you've been part of this process longer than some.
There's none for us. No questions for us.
And I think there was 3 conditions we need to meet.
There was 3.
Attached.
Yeah, he had to get the lease agreement set. He had to get the
The deeded right away.
deeded right away to the lot that he owns.
Yeah.
Then he's got to get
Completion of the driveway.
the driveway has to be signed off by the road commissioner.
Does anybody have a problem giving him till July 1st to have that signed off on due to the weather in spring? I mean, we can't even haul material in right now.
no.
Yeah. Road post.
Even if it is your neighbor, they're still supposed to not come around the corner.
Right, right.
So that's not unnecessary. Does anyone want to make a motion, or at this point, or do we have additional
I've got a
questions?
question now. If we do all this in conditional, when can Roger start working?
If we give it on condition, it's my understanding that he can start working now,
Okay,
but he has to keep up with his conditions and I think everything that should have like a date. So when is the condition? The contractual lease, how long before you can have the contractual lease drawn up?
I would have to say probably 4 weeks, 3-4 weeks.
Okay. And how long before you can have the right of way for the end of the driveway?
Probably about the same.
So those,
If I need more time, I can petition you guys to ask for more time, but I don't see a problem.
yeah, that's
I
fine.
think if dates are attached to, obviously I can't make that motion, but if they're attached to the motion, then he could begin work.
Right.
Right,
Like I
okay,
said, if I need to whisker more time on the deed thing, I don't know what my lawyer's schedule is like,
yeah, yeah.
but I'll just say 4 weeks, and if I need more, I can
Yeah, that can be
contact you guys.
be a moving target, sure.
Okay.
Harvey,
Does this conclude the litigation aspects of this?
the litigation is concluded already, but this should answer, if from what I read from the initial multiple court proceedings and zoning appeal, most of what Jim has brought up and some of the things Roger's already addressed answered all of those concerns before that were part of the litigation.
That's the way I read it. This was the problem. And if you fix the problem, you can go. Just like you might get kicked out of your house because they say you don't have the septic. But if you put a septic system in, then you go back to your house.
Right. And this is technically a new application, so he's cutting the head off the horse before we have to deal with it by putting in the new application and already dealing with this. And he did make it clear during the application review process that we would need to give some conditions. Even he understood that.
I would conclude too that David Lowry's letter is incomplete as far as
I would agree. So we would need a motion to move forward unless we have additional questions. I don't want to rush anyone.
I'll make a motion that we accept the site plan.
Based on we already accepted the site plan, but a motion to approve it based on the conditions, that's what we need.
Okay, based on the conditions that we get the lease agreement, that we get the road approved, and that we get the
Deeded right away.
deeded right away, yeah,
On date.
before July 21st. Was that it, July 1st?
Yes, as well as an updated site map.
Yeah, an updated site plan.
So Desiree, you saw that?
I can second that.
All in favor? So those conditions have to be met by July 1st. And it's our understanding, and I think as I just said, and if anyone else can object to that, right now is a good time, Jesse, you as well. And Mr. Moreau, based on this approval, can begin working at his garage while this conditions are on the.
He has his approval letter in his hand.
So we will ask Madam Secretary to drop an approval letter for him based on those conditions. If you so choose to.
After work is complete. Yeah. No?
If we give him the conditions allow him to start. But he has until July 1st to meet the conditions or he'll have to cease work.
I think we should have a barbecue and fireworks.
Paid for by the town? Okay. So we'll petition the select board about that, but I'm not sure how well that's gonna be received. All right,
Sorry, what was?
I haven't forgot you.
All in favor?
so can I have a complete vote on this? All in favor? We have a first and a second. Unanimous.
Perfect, thank you. I didn't see hands, so I wanted to make sure.
Well, I don't think we did it.
Yeah.
I was writing.
That's all right.
We're fine. So that concludes Mr. Moreau's business. So I know you'd like to run out of here and dump jumping jacks in the parking lot, but can you join us back up here again?
Back to work.
Back to work.
That's your approval.
Oh, Wilson.
Just one thing. My hands.
This one?
Yeah, I move every time I'm talking.
Yeah.
The French in me.
Good company.
All right. So before we get to the other application, we need to talk about the conditional use permit application. Has everyone read through that?
Yeah, there was a.
Could read it for me.
Section 2(1), first sentence, neither the proposed use for a proposed site upon which the use will be locates. I believe that should be D, letter D as in Delta, as opposed to S as in Sierra.
We missed out on the first round of grammar correction. Thank you.
And that is one heck of a sentence.
That is word for word from our zoning book.
Yeah.
I made very short.
Doesn't mean it's good. It doesn't mean it's good
I
English.
don't disagree. Again, our conditional permit application requires less information than the site plan application.
Right.
And even though we were told once they're interchangeable, now we're told they're not. So we need a conditional use permit. So if, other than that grammatical change, and not rushing anyone, but I know people are looking at other stuff, are we prepared to vote to, Desiree, did you hear that? On page 2, under standards for conditional permit to be met,
Yeah.
first line, the use will be located, not locates. So if we make that grammatical change, does anyone want to make a motion to approve this application?
Could I have another minute, please?
You can. But I don't think you're a voting member, but we'll take your vote.
Oh, that's true. I'm not anymore on this.
No, but we still want your input,
We do.
Nice using.
Heck, yeah.
because you picked up on something we all missed in the first round.
It's like snowblindness once you read it through like 4 times.
If I edit something on the computer, I have so many mistakes, but if I print it, I find many that I miss.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. not ignoring the application, so I followed them. And Desiree did make the changes we discussed last time.
So one question I have for you guys, so the abutters list, I have it attached to the section of the application. Would you like it attached to this website?
Yes. Hot button topic, I think all the information that can be out there should be.
Just one question. As far as the fees go, we need to implement some verbiage that indicates that those fees may change over time, or does that require us just to
These are the fees
Bill.
dictated in our ordinance
and so they'll be like that forever?
until the ordinance is changed. Then we
Okay.
have to
Till
readjust the
somebody votes them
application.
up.
Okay, thank you.
Cool.
Till, if and when the ordinance was to be changed.
I'm good.
On the matter of the fees, under conditional use, it only lists the CEO $100 fee. So I would ask for a separate vote to institute those fees, because I agree that there should be an escrow fee instead of trying to get money out of the applicant after the fact.
Okay. I don't disagree with
Because that's how we have been doing it.
So our vote would need to include approval of the fees listed on top of the application, as well as the change of the grammar on page 2 to accept the application. If anybody wants to make that motion.
Make a motion that we accept this application. Also with the fees that are up there and with the grammatical change on page 2.
And then we need a second.
Second?
Second by Jim. Vote on the application. All in favor? The application passes. Desiree, I know you have a busy night. Can I ask that at the end of the meeting, you make these adjustments? Because I have a feeling this application is going to be asked for tomorrow. Thank you. And yeah, if you'll send a copy over to Desiree, to the ladies in the office to post on the website as well.
Yep, I actually need to send the site plan review up because it's, it doesn't have the email address request on there, and I need to send the CBA applications because they have to do it. So,
Perfect. And can you copy us on that email so that we have a copy of that complete application?
I'll send that.
Thank you.
I think you threw me your application.
I had 3 of them.
Oh, did you?
Okay, so that handles that matter of business.
I think all our agenda was.
So the last item on our agenda, besides old business, is the application from Malia Wilson, and I think Sam Park, you're representing her. And this is for 46 Boone Point Road in Parsonsfield, tax map U12, lot 0418, 18,035 square feet, which is 0.014 acres. The zoning district is shoreland, correct?
Yes, I also have a letter I meant to give earlier. It was just a letter of support from local almost.
Okay.
I meant to put that in the packet earlier.
Thank you, sir. So our tonight's goal would be to
Thank you.
review this application and if we so deem it, vote for completeness and then schedule a site walk and a public hearing. So I'm gonna give everybody a chance if you haven't had time to review it, and I think Sam also brought in some maps.
Bigger ones. we got
Very
smaller.
detailed maps and photos.
Yes.
Very ramshackle currently, huh?
Yes.
They put a lot of heaters when they stay there.
AC, huh?
Oh, there are windows. They just doesn't look like they're in there.
Backside of West
I think that sticks out.
So the current use of the property is unused residential, unusable rundown cabin. And the proposed use is a rebuild of the cabin for year-round use. It was previously approved in 1964 for a seasonal cottage. We need to have the abutters list, which is in this packet.
Yeah.
Everyone agreed with the butters list?
Yes.
Please ask me to slow down. Tennis, talk fast. Also the French on me. Then we have a copy of the map, which I'm assuming is your sketch map. Everyone think item B has been satisfied? After the butters list. Parsons Field main property map. There's no contiguous properties owned by the applicant, Sam?
Good, yeah.
Are there additional properties owned by the?
She owns, that's what's looking house there.
Okay, that's what the survey map is here. Showing that?
Yes. So this survey map shows the existing cottages. Does not show the one that she has. It is on a separate lot.
You happen to know the lot number?
30 and 30B.
Okay. They're on this map though, correct?
Desiree,
Yeah.
I don't believe John and I got copies of the application. Is that
So,
on purpose?
no,
If so,
it's not on purpose.
okay.
David and Roger forgot their copies, so they got the extras.
Oh, okay.
I found mine, hold on.
Should be lot 13.
Found all my comments.
Yeah, you had a couple of them.
I did. Why do you think I put everything in a binder?
You're lost.
I moved paperwork. I'm on my fifth giant binder this year.
Where we're both.
So this is the lot, yeah. The copy did come out. So the abutting lot that
Mine from last.
this is.
I have 2 or 3 over here, so you know.
Got 'em
Just follow along with.
weeks ago.
My other one, do you want
Actually also.
this copy, Paul?
We can share, it's fine.
Yeah, I got one.
Oh, you do, he's got one.
Okay.
What do you got?
Now you have yours back.
Hey, look at that.
I still have 2.
Today that we have them. Jay Lane.
It is, yep, yep. Yeah, right where Sunset Cove.
Where's that?
Is there a copy of the deed enclosed in this packet?
I did not see that. So I didn't get.
Don't see a copy of the deed. Sam, do you have a copy of the deed in your file? While he looks at that, we'll look at item E, which there's a survey map with a seal on that. On item F, bearings and distance of all property lines to be developed and source of information. Does everyone feel that criteria has been met? The 2 maps provided. There's also a map in this large packet. I'll use ours.
See this one? Doesn't really show. Okay. Setbacks.
Sam, is this property, how long is she on this property?
I could not tell you exactly how long.
Pull a deed online if we can.
Yeah. I thought it was on here, may not have printed off.
Might be able to find it if I don't remember.
The larger map shows the proposed driveway, the sewage disposal field. Are you putting a new septic in, Sam?
Yes.
For a septic plan here? I didn't see one.
Slab, I assume.
I thought I saw. Choice.
That one.
Did you file?
Maybe it is a slab.
You do? Can you see a copy of that? Thank you. Just raise your magic printer over there, photocopy. Stand up.
Just one of both.
Well, I wonder about septic unit.
Be under,
It's you, you know that.
you miss me? I ain't going nowhere.
Paperwork.
I'll write you love notes every day if you want.
Footprints in the wood.
I see that.
Yeah, it really depends on the money from you to donuts.
Gentlemen.
Yeah, yeah, I'll do what I gotta. Yeah, they're putting a whole new one in.
It's actually more conforming than what's currently there.
Oh, that's no surprise. And if they're putting it in now,
It's more conforming than
most.
what is required.
Drawing water from the pond right now.
Oh, current.
Yeah.
Can we have more copies?
Last year, September,
Good man.
verified it.
You? That's the way
I
it's
think your
supposed to be.
AGL is listed on this diagram, Justin.
Yeah.
Before we move out of existing conditions, Harvey and Jim, do you see anything you're missing? Sean, underneath everything under existing conditions.
Uh,
Now that we have the septic plan.
Well, this is the current septic plan, but they're gonna be changing it. Is that correct? The new build?
No, that's the new one.
That's the new one, which is more conforming than the old one.
And it still draws its water supply from the pond?
It's a question for him.
Putting a new well in, Sam?
Yes,
Right now, they're pulling water from the lake.
as far as the existing house there now,
Yeah.
That's what's written down here.
yeah. It's been uninhabited for quite some time.
So I guess I'm confused as to why it says, if this is the future plan, then why is it drawing from the pond?
Is it, what type of well are you putting in? Drilled well, dug well, private? Was that part of your packet I just gave you back?
Yeah.
Show where the.
Oversight.
System is. Show the well.
Yeah.
I think it's on this one. I,
Make sure they're far enough apart.
It's not 100% complete. It's a registered as a long form.
Yeah.
It's a short form, so it's not actually
Sam, do any of these maps show where the existing well is?
The existing well is pulling.
Oh, so there's no existing well. I'm sorry. Where the proposed well is going?
Looking down there.
You know, proposed, you should have one for proposed septic somewhere
He's got a
there.
whole packet.
Oh, I think it's gonna be mostly we would have to locate it where we can in relation.
And drill it. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Did you write that?
No, it has not been. That's really well.
So the well would be, have to be a condition of approval, you guys?
Huh?
Did you write the septic plan?
No, it's not permitted until he has permission.
Has permission?
Yeah, he's gotta go through the whole planning board functions first.
I believe that's the only thing I saw missing,
Right.
is the
I'll make sure
future
to
well,
keep it there.
site, which would have to be conditional approval, because they haven't located it yet.
Part of that's gonna be due to site conditions. It's gonna obviously meet the setback from the septic system.
That can be a condition of approval.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear that about the location?
Yep.
Concerns regarding that?
We tried to get out there, but with the snow and
Oh, yeah, I think right out of sight. Is there anything to do with, like, Saco River corridors or anything like that, shoreland?
No,
No?
No.
Oh, okay.
it's not close to the river.
Oh, okay,
No, but
that
he's
only
got a-
applies to rivers.
He's got a
Okay.
Where the shoreline does.
packet.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, just a question.
I can have that plotted for the next.
A container or is there a leaching bed to this?
That's something that,
What is it? Is it a leaching bed or? Oh, the above ground derbies, or the chambers.
Is there any proposed landscaping development different from?
No, I mean. it's
They usually go with
mostly
chambers.
natural vegetation.
You're retaining it, just
I
replacing the
don't know,
building?
I haven't, that's it.
does that mean you're not cutting down any
Yeah.
trees?
Doesn't give,
We will be removing a couple of trees. The architect is in the working stages of getting a plan to show the proposed, I believe it's 2 or 3 trees that would have to be removed due to the proximity of, they're like literally a few feet from the existing structure now.
Okay.
So they would be literally right in the middle of the new structure, so that would be basically the only trees. He is working on getting a plan for that, show what trees would be removed. But basically, the only trees that would be removed will be in the building site of where the structure would be.
The building footprint itself?
Correct.
Okay, good.
They're looking to basically maintain the existing vegetation, the existing of what it looks like right now.
What's your construction rough schedule? I mean, I know it's hard to this time of year, but
Depending on approval, I mean, we're hoping to, get started this summer, I mean, as soon as possible. Actually, I'm finishing one project on West Pond, actually on Sunset Cove.
one we don't know about.
Oh,
Just
no.
kidding.
Oh, I was here many a times for that one.
Yeah, I remember the one.
All right,
Waiting for your plumber to finish
we're
up.
kind of a round robin. Jim, questions?
You know, it'd be handy if we had like an elevation plan. Do you have that
An elevation for the house.
for the lot? Yeah.
Topography.
Yeah.
Just so when we look at the septic, we get an idea of how the flow is gonna go.
Yeah, I can get that.
Okay,
I can
thanks.
have the architect draw up like basically a topographical of the lot itself.
Yeah, great.
What type of system are you putting in for septic?
Sorry.
What type of system? I mean,
It's actually it's a chambered system.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So the leaching field will be a chambered system. There's 3 chambers, they're 4x6,
Yeah, that's what I thought they would.
and with stone.
Yeah, keeps them up out of the
Is that
ground.
something you have in that packet you're holding?
Correct, yeah, it's on that septic design.
By
Leach fields in the driveway.
Yes,
proprietary device, that's
be
it.
on the very
That
last
means,
page.
Yeah.
says chambers, but I think that's what that means. I use it to light the wood stove.
Who's the evaluator?
Well, yeah,
Just-
yeah. So Kenny.
I have a question for code officer. The perimeter drain on the new design, is that common to have that drain right into the shoreline zone?
Oh, yeah.
I'm on this colorful map page.
It's on the map,
Large map?
Second page.
A002.
The water. Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
The perimeter drain goes into the setback. Which is still further, it's part of the existing footprint now. So it's further from the actual shore.
Yeah, the perimeter drain, but then it drains down into that
Yeah, there's just run.
dry well,
Way.
which is what?
Rain,
That's to catch groundwater.
yeah, rainwater.
Rainwater.
Yeah, off the building. Yeah, and then, but
I mean, it would run
That-
there whether it was through that or not.
for that, okay. Having the dry well that close to the water is common?
Yep.
Okay.
We only could stop the rain.
Just go water runoff.
Hey, I ate those fish in that pond, so.
I hear you. Good ones in there too.
Is it not really accessible this time of year, that property?
It is, I mean, you can get down to her other, on lot 13, you can get down to that structure, and then it's just a little walk. But it is plowed down to that other structure, but I mean, obviously there's no snow now, so yes, it is completely accessible.
Like hip waiter mud,
What's that?
hip waiter mud access?
Maybe just ankle boots, I think. Not quite hip waders yet.
Yeah. Thinking of doing a sidewalk.
I think,
Good plan on.
well, we have to,
I should be out in a week or two on the road. It should be frost.
I know you should like, use a zip line to get to my house. And I'm off 153.
Postman, not really cheap.
Yeah.
I could boat you from my end over.
Yeah. A couple things missing to me.
Topography map and the,
You know what? I don't remember what the other one was. I think you already brought the deed out.
Yeah.
You already brought the engineering thing out. I don't
so what
remember. Remember.
my thought is that we're gonna have to table this application for full acceptance until the next meeting, because we're missing a topography map. Something from your architect saying what you're gonna plan to do with the well, which we can conditionally approve that afterwards, but we have to have some sort of knowledge.
Sure.
What else do you guys, anything else you think we're missing?
One of the things, the existing footprint, I don't know how big that is.
Right.
Do you know?
It is on the given dimension,
Oh, 825 square feet.
yeah, it's on the
Oh, yeah, it's right there.
left-hand side.
Turn this way.
Now. All the existing setbacks.
Yeah, they're all right here.
It says the existing footprint is 825 square feet. We go right to the max. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Approximately 25.
Existing footprint's right there.
Okay, oh, I see, it's right.
Yeah,
It's in it
and it
itself.
shows all the setbacks and all the
Okay.
dimensions
All
there.
right, that's close. All right, thank you.
We're actually gonna decrease the amount of coverage on the structure.
As you're going up.
Correct.
And you're going away from the water too.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right now we're like 3 feet from the water, so we're.
Yeah.
We're moving it back.
You see with the setback.
I mean, it looks like it's a good plan for the property.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
I do.
gonna look neat. I like the design. Well, you'll get a lot of natural lighting, huh?
Yes.
Beautiful.
So I think, I guess you guys can tell me what your thoughts are. I think we can make the well part of the conditions of approval because it's not there yet
Right.
on the next phase, but I don't know if you guys are willing to accept this without the map is complete.
In other words, you don't think it's complete yet?
We have a complete map, it doesn't show drainage. That's the only thing.
The direction, topography, direction of drainage and such.
And did we get a copy of the deed?
Yes.
The application?
Yep.
My apologies, I thought that was printed off in the packet.
It's okay. I mean, I think if we get the copy, is it possible for your architect to give you a copy of the topography of the map
Yes, I can,
for the next meeting?
yeah,
Then I think if we do that, we can
approve it.
then we can approve it as complete and schedule your site walk.
next meeting in April.
Yep.
Yep.
And then we'd be able to schedule a site walk and public hearing.
Yeah.
I can do a map with the showing the topo and the watershed, which direction it's going. You can locate the well at this time probably,
Oh.
now that there's no snow.
Even an approximation.
I'll state there where the well would be going anyways for the sidewalk. And I can get one that'll show you which trees are gonna be removed.
Okay, and stake out the septic too?
Yes.
Okay.
That is, still plotted now. When they did the septic design, it was plotted. But I'll make sure that it's.
So are you all comfortable that that's just what we need, is the topography showing the drainage?
Yeah.
That way, if you can send that to Desiree Sam, you can attend the meeting next time or not, but
Yeah,
we can make it accepted as complete then, and then schedule your stuff, which will still keep you on track.
And hopefully by then the snow will be
Right, it'd be a little drier for the
Plus, I think
sidewalk.
it's better sidewalk. We made that mistake once, but
Yes.
I made that mistake thinking we were doing due diligence.
Hey, we followed you.
And you guys were just willing sacrifices. Is
Sacrificial
anybody
lamb.
else concerned about anything else with this application? So we can make sure that we get the stuff from Mr. Park.
Sir?
Yeah.
Am I reading the legend incorrect? 1 inch equals 20 feet. Mapping? I'm actually coming out with, half inch equals 25. Am I seeing that wrong?
This might be a scaled down print, so.
Yeah.
Oh.
I have a full scale.
Oh, that could be.
I do have a,
Yeah, this is
Oh,
the scale.
that's, yeah.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
That's difficult.
this one.
Here's the real, okay.
That makes sense.
Good catch, Paul.
Yes.
Well, it's,
Yeah.
So I guess we need a motion to table this application until the next meeting. Pending,
Motion to table it to the next meeting.
pending the top, do you want to put the condition of pending the topography?
Topography and, the well
Yep. And the trees.
trees.
Which can all be indicated on that same map.
Yeah. I second it.
All in favor? Perfect. I think, again, Sam, I think you're still gonna be on track for your construction schedule. Thank you for plugging everything in and all the colorful maps. This is that section for public comment.
So we're not doing sidewalk and public hearings for this.
It's not complete yet. We're tabling it.
We've done that before, that's why I asked.
Yep, no, we're gonna table it.
Let the ground drop.
Yeah.
It's too soon. Unless these two are willing to give me a piggyback, which neither one of them would before.
No.
I don't see that happening now. That was a pretty long walk when we did that subdivision sidewalk. Public comment?
Workshop.
Yep. Oh, I'm sorry. Would you guys like to have a workshop for our next workshop date, which is the first Wednesday of next month? We have completed our application for conditional use, which was a major item.
what else is on our docket?
What about change of use? Is that the same thing as conditional use? We make something for change of use as well?
Jesse, do you require a change of use and a conditional use?
No, no, the conditional use permit stands alone.
So we need a change of use as well, application?
Okay.
Or does the site plan cover change of use?
If it's a building that has an existing use, it would need a change of use.
So we need another application? Okay, do we want to workshop that?
Let's workshop that.
Does anybody want to volunteer to write that application, or do you want me to do it?
Well, I think probably the conditional use that you wrote is probably good for the change of use, so why don't you do it?
Okay, I'll look in the ordinance and make sure that there's no other verbiage. So we will schedule a workshop. Oh, can we have a motion to schedule a workshop
I'll make a motion to schedule a workshop,
for change of use?
change of use.
And I think that will, maybe you can broad span that when you publish it, Desiree, it's administrative forms. If there's anything else they think we're missing, or that to our email chain so that we can be prepared to discuss it, so that we get our ducks in a row for people. I think making this application complete is going to make huge progress. It'll help quell some dissension. I just had one. Sure, Sam.
I think looking at this small print with him mentioning the scale, I need glasses apparently, but the topographical is on,
Hold on.
shows the elevation.
I see some faint lines in there.
Before you do that, you have a motion.
So let's go. Do I have a second to the workshop motion?
Second.
All in favor? So passed. So under old business, we're gonna go back to Sam's application. Can we see your large map?
Yeah, I was just.
We may be able to accept this application if he does actually.
Do we need to motion to reopen?
Can I have a motion to reopen? We should, just to be safe.
I make a motion, we reopen.
We haven't closed the meeting. Reopen the review.
Reopen.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? I'm gonna reopen Sam's application. Don't be. He's still not walking in. I know. Sidewalk will be in September. I might be driving my driveway by then. It's supposed to snow 5 inches. Plow my mud.
Yeah, so I guess you can see it better with all the elevation.
Okay, still lacking drainage. Is that any of this?
These are probably the
Same as what we
But it
got.
must be fainter.
yeah.
The drainage obviously would just be in the direction of, from the high to the low.
We just, your site plan.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just still need that. You can have your person just
Yep.
indicate drainage and those
Cover
trees
some
and
drainage
then we'll be good.
lines. Okay.
Well, and the well.
Yeah.
So we're gonna close this and there's no changes to the previous, if you guys are amenable to that. So we need a motion to reclose the,
Make a motion, we close the site plan
with no changes.
with no changes.
All in, second? All in favor? And your trees and
Yep.
send Sam a note on that.
Right, so we just need a top map that has drainage.
We have a topographical map. He does have one there. We need an indication of the drainage and flow,
Okay.
the proposed well, which we are all under the understanding that that may change when they get out there.
Yeah.
That can be dealt with at the site walk and the vegetation that has to be removed or trees, landscaping trees for,
Got it.
because the footprint is moving to a better spot, which is better for the lake.
Yeah.
On.
Yeah, it is.
So, I mean, I think all in all, this is great for the water.
Yeah. Further away,
You're on that pond, right?
better drainage.
Just shoot it right over to Paul. Blame it on him. Old business. Public comment. Well, we appreciate you sitting through everything.
Thank you once again.
And then I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Adjourn.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Unofficial reminder, which you guys already knew, regarding the project with the mill. If you want to be